Well, it is quite late at night. In fact, let me get my phone and show you. If you can see on my phone, it literally is 12:46 a.m. It is quite late. I just wrapped up at my Yugioh locals, and everyone was telling me to do a deck profile on this. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a recording of any of the matches. My camera here at the moment when I'm filming this part of me, I'm not my face cam. But when I'm recording my cards on, this was all this camera was full of storage before another video that is going to be coming out soon. I am in the middle of editing it, but people told me I really need to do a deck profile on this one because they were so surprised, they were so impressed with how I did it. But ladies and gentlemen, Rikka Sunavalon. It is time for plants to come into fruition, and but yeah, I went undefeated with Rikka Sunavalon in 2026, which is quite impressive. I'll put up a screenshot of my position with like everyone else's statuses. I'll blur out everyone else's names because, you know, privacy reasons and all that. But yeah, people wanted me to do a deck profile on Rikka Sunavalon, so here we go. Yeah, let's do it. So we're at 42 cards in the main deck, I believe. I could be wrong on that. Let me just double check quickly. Yes, we are indeed at 42 cards. We're at 42 cards in the main... Oh, hang on. What's going on there? Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay. Yeah, 42 cards in the main deck, so let's start with some of the stuff. Also, if I sound a little bit nasal right now, I'm currently recovering from a little bit of a cold, so another reason why production of videos recently has been a little bit slow, but don't worry, I'll get back to doing these videos very, very soon. Won't be too long. I promise you, it won't be too long. Alright, so let's start with the good old-fashioned cards that... Basically, it's the best starter for any plant deck. It is 3 copies of Sunseed Genius Loci. This is easily just the best normal summon and the best one card starter for the deck because of all the stuff you can go into. We'll get into that in a moment. But some other cards to combo it with is Sunseed Twin and Sunvine Sowing. This is just your basic Sunvine, Sunseed, Sunavalon. It's your Sunavalon combo, basically. And you really don't need much more than it. It's just, this is really good as it is. And Sunvine Sowing actually has another effect, is if you're a plant link monster you control will be destroyed by battle card effect, you can banish this card instead, kind of like, you know, Summer Road Balinks style. It actually came up quite a few times. A lot of my opponents were just going to go for like Lightning Storm on my plant monsters, and yeah, no, Sunvine Sowing actually came in handy. So pretty nice. Some other cards to combo with this strategy. I played 3 copies of Unexpected Die, and I also played a copy of 1-for-1. Just basically extra ways to get Genius Loci out into the board as quickly as possible. By the way, Unexpected Die is not once per turn. This card is not once per turn. So if you summon something off of Unexpected Die, they then out your board again, and you have a second copy of Unexpected Die, yeah, joke's on you. I'll play my second Unexpected Die, and then I'll just keep going. So, yeah, Unexpected Die, not once per turn. So keep that in mind. It's pretty interesting. Alright, next up we're going to go into the Rikka cards, because it is Rikka Sunavalon. It's not just Sunavalon, although pure Sunavalon would be kind of funny. Anyways, for the Rikka cards, we're going to be running 3 copies of Rikka Princess. This card is amazing. I love how versatile and how useful this card is. Rikka Princess, it's a monster negate if this card is in the hand or graveyard, and also it's your main level 4 monster for all of your Rikka Caesars and stuff like that, which are very important. And it's a free special. It is a free special of a monster which can get you out of a tight spot and into so many plays. A lot of the times, I would summon Princess, even if I had a lot of monsters on the board. I would just use the Sun Summon effect and I would link it away for Sylvan Dance Peon, just not to use Dance Peon's gambling effect, we'll get to that in a moment, but to use this level modulation effect, just so that I had a Princess in the graveyard, and having Princess in the graveyard is just as good as well, because the negate is still live. Anyways, moving on, we're going to be running 2 copies of Rikka Petal. This is basically your normal summon starter. And in a good grind game, Rikka Petal is really good because you can just resummon it back at the end of your opponent's turn if you can stop them from playing. You've got Mudan, which is how you get into access into the field spell and everything. We're running Primula and Snowdrop. Primula and Snowdrop. Primula is really good if you go for a Rikka Glamour. While tributing something, you add Princess and Primula. Primula can summon itself, and then Princess can also summon itself. Primula summons itself on resolution of the chain, though, so whereas Princess can summon itself whenever. Snowdrop is just really good for getting 2 bodies on the board pretty easily, and by tributing something like a Strenna. So you go Strenna, add something back, then you go Snowdrop, tribute the Strenna, summon 2, and then Strenna summons out, like, I don't know, Piperton or something like that. I don't know. But really, really, really good. Really, really good. We're then going to be running three copies of the previously mentioned Rikka Glamour, 2 copies of Rikka Con, and 1 copy of Rikka Sheet. So it's pretty much standard. I chose not to go 3 copies of Rikka Con because Rikka Con isn't good by itself. Like, if you hard draw Rikka Con in your hand, it doesn't actually do anything. You need the Rikka cards to be able to actually use it. So you don't want to just see multiple copies of Rikka Con in your hand, nor do you really want to see it in your starting hand, because it doesn't do anything. Unlike Glamour, because Glamour can actually do something by itself. You just don't tribute something, and then you can just add, I don't know, Petal or something, and then you can get some kind of plays going. Con doesn't have that. Con has to have a Rikka card on another Rikka monster on the field. Yeah, if you control a Rikka monster, activate the effect, you have to have a Rikka monster to use it, so you don't really want to see Con in your hand too many times. But that's the only reason why we're running it. 2, you don't want to run 1, because in a grind game, having 2 is really, 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 really good. Next up, we're going to be running a little bit of a Therian package. It's a very, very small Therian package. It is literally just 3 copies of Lilyboria, because it's a plant. Then Lilyboria adds the Discolseum, and then Discolseum gets you into Regulus. Regulus is quite literally your only non-plant monster. So before you hard plant lock yourself using like Rikka Petal's effect or something like that, you go Jasmine, special, Lilyboria from deck. Lilyboria can send something to add Discolseum. Discolseum adds Regulus, and then, I don't know, somehow you get Lilyboria in the graveyard. You go Regulus, summon it back by equipping the Lilyboria. And then you've got a Nominee Negate online. It's basically your Nibiru insurance, and it's really effective at doing that. So the reason why this is really good with this strategy as well is Regulus equipped with Lilyboria. It can send so Regulus can send the equipped Lilyboria to the graveyard, and then Regulus gets to stay on the field for next turn. So basically, you've got 2 Omni Negates across 2 turns with just Regulus equipped with a Borea. So it's really good. It's really, really good. Last card is, it's Lone Fire Blossom. Like, you can't play a plant deck without playing Lone Fire Blossom. It is just really, really good. Another really fun combo I like to do a lot of the time is I would use, if I already had if I'd hard drawn Lilyboria, which came up quite a few times, I would summon Lilyboria, equip it with like a healer or something, send the healer to the graveyard and add the Discolseum and blah blah blah. But what I would do is I would use Remote Jasmine to tribute a monster and summon out Lone Fire, and then Lone Fire would tribute the Lilyboria to summon out like Petal or Mudan or something. And then I can just go Regulus, equip the Lilyboria or something. So like, it had a fair few. I don't know why I keep saying that, but anyways. It had a fair few instances, so Lone Fire is just really good. It's just really, really good. Also, it is a soft once per turn, so there was a game where I summoned Lone Fire, did the effect, and then I brought Lone Fire back to my hand thanks to Rikka Queen Strenna, and then I went Snowdrop to summon itself and the Lone Fire, and that meant I got a second Lone Fire activation. So like, it does come up, the fact that Lone Fire is a soft once per turn. It definitely does come up. Now we're going to be running non-engine, and we actually can really run a lot of non-engine for this. So we're going 3 copies of Ash Blossom, we're going 3 copies of Bua, let me split them up properly. 3 copies of Thua, 3 copies of Ash, there we go. We're going 3 copies of Imperm, 3 copies of Droplets, and 1 copy of Call by the Grave. I chose not to go talents because realistically, this engine is like these cards are enough to do a lot. Like, you don't really need too much else. You don't really need talents. Talents kind of just ends up being a brick half the time anyways. I was considering running Thrust because it just gets me to Glamour, or Sheet is a good one. I even thought Thrust in the side deck, but I decided against it because I'll explain when I get there. I'll explain when I get there. But that's going to be the main deck anyways, so we'll put this just over here for now. And then we're going to go into the extra deck. So we're going to be going for the standard extra deck. We're going to be going Sunavalon Dryas, Sunvine Healer, and Sunvine Thrasher. This is just your standard Sunavalon package. You only really need these 3. You don't really want to run anything else unless you're playing like a pure Sunavalon deck when you want to go for like the big Dry Gnome or whatever. But like these 3, these are all you really need. This is just your Loci starters and your combos there. It just gets you a bunch of bodies on the board, basically. That's the whole premise of the Sunavalon cards. Next up, we're going to be running 2 copies of Aromatherapy Jasmine. It's an amazing card. This is what your Sunavalon Socks goes into. You go Dryas, summon either Heal or Thrasher. You link both off into the Jasmine, and then since you'll have like Twin and Loci in the field, you can just go Jasmine, tribute something, and summon another plant from deck. It's just really, really good. Jasmine is just an amazing card. It also has an effect where if you gain life points, you can add a plant monster from your deck to your hand. That did not come up for me, because as you've probably seen, this deck doesn't actually run any Aroma cards. The only card that gains you life points, it really is the Sunvine Healer. But you're already going to be using Sunvine Healer's effect before you summon Jasmine, so it's not as powerful. It can come up, but it's a little bit too situational without the Aroma cards. We're also going to be running Sylvan Dance Peon. Now, this card isn't just a last resort gambling card. For the longest time, I'll admit I did think it was, but there are many times today where I just summon this card with 2, just to level manipulate the monsters that it pointed to turn them into 4s for Strenna or 8s for a Teardrop. Like, gambling with this card isn't the only thing you can do, but like obviously getting extra plant monsters on the board is never a bad thing. That can help you go into, well, it can help you go into the next cards. You'll link 3 of the deck, Sunavalon Melius. The only reason I didn't combine this with the Sunavalon cards is because it's not part of your starters or your combos. Basically, it's just a way to get into Benkalancer, which is your link 4 of the deck. And this is just part of your end board because this Melius just turns a link 2 on one of your plant monsters that you don't want to be in your end board. Basically, it just turns link 3's worth of materials into a Benkalancer because it immediately just summons back a Loci for free, and then you just blink the 2 off of a Benkalancer. So, yeah. That's all for the link monsters. Yeah, that's all the link monsters we run. We don't run any more. The rest are all Exeses because we're going to start with 2 copies of Rikka Queen Strenna. This is basically just like, in any situation, you want to summon Strenna as easily as you can. Strenna is just so good. You can add back your plant monsters. When it's tributed, you can cheat out one of your like really good boss monsters. Speaking of, here are 2 of them right now. Teardrop, the Rikka Queen. Teardrop is just so good. Teardrop is just really good. Basically, Teardrop is just a quick effect removal card. And that alone is actually enough to shut down a lot of decks. Removing cards on the field that are being used that are going to be used as like Xyz or Synchro material. Say for example you're going up against K9 and they summon. Sorry, my voice is really killing me. So yeah, say you're going up against K9 and they go, they summon 2 level 5s and they're trying to overlay into a Ripper. Or you let them overlay into Ripper. When Ripper hits the board, since Ripper's effect isn't an on-summon effect, you get a chance to use an effect to get rid of the Ripper. So they summon Ripper, then you go Teardrop's effect, you target the Ripper, and you tribute it. Now, of course, if they have Lupus, then that won't work. But in that case, you probably just use Teardrop to target the Lupus anyways. But it's just a good removal card. It's just really helpful. Hang on, let me just put these up here properly. There we go. Next up is going to be a card I never actually summoned, but it does have its uses. How do I say this name? Kanzashi, the Rikka Queen. There we go. So Kanzashi, it's basically insulate. It's basically a way to protect your plays. If monster is tributed, you can attach material from this card, then target one monster in either graveyard special it, that again gains effects and becomes a plant monster. But also, if a plant monster you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can tribute a plant monster from your hand or field instead while this card is on the field. So it's a good way of insulating your plays, and also if your opponent really relies on their graveyard effects, like summoning from graveyard or something, you can summon this card out and basically steal their important monsters. This actually, so the way you summon this card is you go Teardrop and it's a mixture of Snowdrop and Mudan. Because Mudan's level 6 and Snowdrop is level manipulation, but also again, Sylvan Dance Peon. You just summon this when Mudan is in your graveyard, have it point to 2 plant monsters, turn them into level 6s, and then there you go. That's how you summon this as well. You can also summon this out of Strenna, but Strenna you're normally going to be using to summon both Teardrop and the next monster, which is the Sacred Tree Beast Hyperiton. This card is just really amazing. It's a monster negate because Strenna attaches itself to it. You can also, if you activate like Con or Glamour, you can attach a spell to it as well, give yourself a spell negate. There was also a time where I actually gave it a trap negate, where I activated Imperm on... No, I didn't. No, sorry. I activated Rikka Sheet on my turn. This was in like a really long grind game. It was a really good match against... I think it was against Blue Eyes Primite. It was a really good grind game that we had. The game lasted like 10 turns. It was a good grind game. But I went Sacred Tree Beast Hyperiton when I activated Rikka Sheet, which allowed me to attach an Imperm from the graveyard. That gave me a trap negate for their True Light. So when they tried to extend that one last time, I had the trap negate for True Light, and that was what allowed me to close it off. Like, it was really, really good. But it was so props to that Blue Eyes player. That was such a good match. And to round it off, the extra deck, I'll be honest, this is literally just, this is it here, basically just because I pulled the card, like last Thursday. It's a fancy Typhon. It's just a fancy Typhon. I just put it in here because it looks cool, and I just recently pulled it, so I was like, yeah, I want to use this. You're not even going to be summoning it a lot of the time, because a lot of the time you're just going to be ending on a full board, or you're going to be plant locked, and you won't even be able to summon this. So, like, realistically, cut this for, like, I don't know, a third Teardrop, or a third Strenna, or even a third Jasmine. I don't know. There's so many things you can cut this for. I wouldn't run this, but I just wanted to, because I wanted to use it as soon as possible. I never summoned it. Don't play that. Don't play it. Don't play Typhon in this deck. It doesn't do anything. There's so many other things you can use extra deck space for. Anyways, on to the side deck. Basically, so this deck, it is just pure gas. It's Sunavalon, Rikka. It's pure gas. You've got a lot of everything you need. So realistically, all that I went for in the side deck was a lot of going second cards, a lot of going second options. I went for, so there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can go like Dark Rulers, Lightning Storms. I went for a little bit of a different approach. I still think my approach was like it fared well. Like almost everything I put in the side deck came up in some situations. So we start with 3 copies of Nibiru. This is just really good against like breaking apart your opponent's boards once they've assembled it. We got 3 copies of Purulia. I actually faced Radiant Typhoon today, and Purulia was extremely helpful of just like helping to shut down their combos. And then 2 copies of the standard Droll Mockbird. It's Droll Mockbird. It shuts down like half the decks in the format, so it's really good. We're also going to be running 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster. This is just really good against like the rogue trap heavy decks that are really good. One copy of Cross-Out Designator, because we can run a lot of non-engine. A lot of the times, I would be going first with both a Fua and a Droll in my deck, in my main deck, and I'd also have a Cross-Out in there. It's just because this deck really hates Droll and Fua, so, yeah, Cross-Out was just really good, really important to have there. I also went for 2 copies of Forbidden Crown, pretty much just because I wanted to use the card. That's about it. I wanted to use the card. But to be fair, it did actually do a fair bit. So, going first against Blue Eyes Primite, which was a different game than the grind game that I told you about earlier. Going first against Blue Eyes Primite, they normal summoned Ether Barrel, and then I just went Crown the Ether Barrel. That ended their turn on the spot. Crown is just such a powerful card. It's very underestimated. And obviously, I personally, in this format, I feel like Droplet is a lot more valuable, and that's why I'm running Droplet in the main. It's also why I'm not running Talent or Thrust, is because I just thought Droplet was a lot more high value. And finally, to round things off, we're running 3 copies of Evenly Matched, probably one of the best and strongest board-breaking cards, going second board-breaking cards that is in the format at the moment. Evenly Matched, combined with Forbidden Droplet, is just so powerful. I will say there was a really funny match that I had today where I was facing where I was going it was game 2 and I was going second. My hand was triple evenly matched, Called by the Grave and Harpy's, oh no, it wasn't Harpy's Feather Duster, it was a Droplet. So, you know, this hand, like, this is pretty good at breaking a board, right? But do you see any plays in here? If you do, let me know. The only reason I even ended up winning that game was because my draw for turn was Unexpected Die. So we evenly to break their board, and if they're trying to get the evenly, we have the Droplet, or we just let it resolve. We just go evenly again. And then if they have any hand traps left, like an Ash Blossom or something for Unexpected Die, we had to call by. So if we did not draw Unexpected Die, we never would have won that game, but yeah. But that's about it for my little deck profile. I am exhausted. It is quite late at night, and I would definitely like to get some sleep. But I had a lot of fun with this deck. I had a lot of fun with Plains. I'm probably going to keep playing Plains for a little bit as well. Different variations. Maybe I'll play some more Predaplant stuff. Maybe I'll play some Aroma cards. But just Rikka Sunavalon. Just this deck by itself, it was a hell of a lot of fun to play. Very complicated, I will mind you. Plants are a very complicated deck to play, but very complicated, but so much fun. I had such a blast playing this deck. Alright, well, as you can see, it is... Hang on, let me show you. It is literally 1:10 p.m. Sorry, 1:10 a.m. Like, it's nighttime. It is 1:10 in the morning. Yeah, it's 1:10 in the morning. I am gonna go get some sleep. I'm sorry I don't have any, like, locals footage to show you guys, but, like I said, there is a there is a locals video, a full locals video coming up very soon. I promise you, I will get finishing that video very soon. But I need some sleep. I will see you guys very soon. I'll see you guys in that video. So until next time, everyone, have a hype rest of your day, everybody.